Hey, this is Rich over at TVP Live with another quick tips tutorials brought to you by Adobe Photoshop Elements Custom Tutorials Group. And let's jump right in with today's poster. Wanted to know how to clean up this deckled paper edge. And I was given 3 different examples, and you can see where the edges here are cut off from the photo and they're kind of dirtied up and they look really old. Another example is this one here where somebody cut the picture out and they got rid of the deckled edge altogether. And finally, this one here, which the deckled edge is fine along the bottom, but it's not very good on the sides or the top. So let's go ahead and do a clean fix on all these. So we'll start by opening up any browser. In our case will be Google. And just type in the search bar, deckled paper. Enter. And then right up here, hit images. And scroll down to find what suits you best. And now that I've found one here, which is a white deckled paper over a black background, I could just right click and choose Save Image As. And I'll go to my desktop and I'll just look down here, make sure that it says JPEG and hit Save. That's all there is to it. And next you just close your browser and now you have your image here on your desktop as a JPEG. I can now right click and scroll down to Open With and choose Adobe Photoshop Elements, and it'll come right into Photoshop Elements. And now we have our clean deckled paper image within Elements, but it is backwards. Sometimes you'll get white on black or black on white. If it's opposite like this, all you got to do is inverse it. So we just go up here to Filter, Adjustments, and right down here is Invert. And watch what happens. There it goes. Now it's the right color, and now we want to get rid of the black and leave just the white. But I need to unlock the photo. Right over here there's a little lock, so I'll unlock that. Then go over to the magic tool, and we're going to grab all of the black all in one piece. If I open up the tools here, I want to make the tolerance up really high, about 50%, because this is nice sharp edges and shouldn't grab any of the white. So if I click left click here, it grabs everything but the white. So as soon as I hit delete, boom, it got rid of everything but the deckled paper. I can do Control D to deselect everything, and now we got our new image of just the deckled paper. Let's go ahead and bring in your photos. I have them here on the desktop, so if I minimize Elements for a moment, I see all the 3 images on the desktop. I can grab them all and literally just drag them into Elements, and as soon as I let go of the left mouse button, they'll all come in and populate each image right there on their own. So now that we have a clean deckled image from our Google search, now we're going to be able to bring in the different photos and clean them up. So let's start with this one here. We don't know whether it's going to fit this particular deckled paper because it might be a different size or a different aspect ratio for that matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out and then bring in the photo. So I'm going to grab our grabber here, and then with the left mouse button I can grab the photo. It's not letting me grab it because it's still locked over here. So I'm going to click that. Now it's unlocked and I can move it around. I'm going to literally drag it up to the other project of the deckled paper, bring it back down and let go of the mouse button, and boom, there it is. Now I can lock the deckled paper layer down here so it doesn't move around. So whenever I grab here, all it's doing is grabbing the top layer. What I'm going to do is make this partially opaque so I can see where I want to place it. So I'll take this opacity here, bring it down to like 50% or so, and now it's sort of see-through, and I can play around with this exactly where I want it on the photo. I think what I want to do is bring it right around here like this, and it's a little bit sideways, so I'm going to grab this little circle here and straighten it out a little bit like that. So now what we're going to do is take the square mark key, and now I can come up here and exactly where I want that deckled paper to end and the picture to start, I'm going to draw myself a marching ants rectangle, and I'm going to start it right here and come down to here, come across to this point over here, and you see I'm not overlapping the picture edges so that it looks clean when I get rid of everything on the outside. Next, what we're going to do is right click and hit select inverse. That will select everything else but that center piece. So when I hit delete, boom, it gets rid of everything else. I can do Control D to deselect everything. Let's go back to the opacity up here and bring that opacity back up to 100%, and there you go. You got yourself a perfect. Now there is partial image beyond what we can see. But we can always take the crop and recrop the photo. If we don't, look what happens. We got the rest of that photo that we didn't cut out because it was beyond the edges of the project. I'll hit Control Z to undo and bring it back to where we were. So to clean that up, I'll grab the crop tool and I'll start above the upper left with the left mouse button, and it'll automatically grab from edge to edge, take it all the way down to the bottom right, and I can go beyond. I let go and hit OK, and boom, it cut out everything beyond our edge of our project. So now if I move this around, it's not going to have that weird edge that it had before. And I can just kind of place it here by hand. Now let's say if I want more picture, I can bring that up closer to the top and drag the corner of the picture a little bit bigger, or I can do the opposite and make the deckled edge paper really big, like that. But in our case, I'll just keep it kind of in between, right around there. And that's perfect. Let's go up to the next photo. I'm going to turn off this particular photo and bring in our next photo, which is this one. Now, the poster said that it was kind of sideways and it's going to be hard to place inside a deckled edge paper. It's not going to be that hard. We're going to fix that really easy. Once again, unlock the photo like we did before. Drag that up into the project that we want. Bring it back down and let go of the mouse button. Now this one is super big. You can see the edges is beyond the actual project edge, which is good because that way we can actually turn the photo so that it's straight up and down like this. And then I can make it a little bit smaller. And you see, I don't want to bring it too small because then you start going into the original photo edges. But now's a good time to actually make the opacity like 50% so I can see my deckled edge. 50%, and now we can resize it exactly where we want it. And I think we want it right around here. Hit OK, and now we can take our marquee again, a rectangle marquee, and once again let's draw that deckled edge. And I'm going to start from this corner because that's the corner that's sticking in. Come back up and make sure that all the sides are approximately the same length and distance, right around there. Once again, we're going to right click and hit select inverse to select everything else. Hit the delete button and then Control D to deselect. That's looking pretty good, but we got to bring the opacity back up to 100. And then once again, because the photo, if I zoom out, you see the original photo is actually much bigger, and it's still there because we didn't delete what was beyond the project edge. So I'm going to grab the cropping tool again, crop from above here down to the bottom right, let go and hit the green arrow. And that crops that particular photo. And there we go. We just fixed the second one. Let's go ahead and jump into the third one. I'm going to turn that photo off. Go to the last photo. And here we actually lost the deckled edge altogether, but that's no problem. Once again, we grab, we got to unlock it first. Grab that photo, bring it up to our deckled edge project, bring it back down, let go of that, and then let's go ahead and this time we'll do the opacity first at 50%. And it doesn't have to be 50. It could be a lot less if you want to see more of the deckled edge or a lot more like that. I just like the 50 because it's a nice round number. And reposition this to what we want. It's a little bit big, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller to grab some of that background of the image. And we are cutting out a little bit of the image, and that's okay because it was poor framing to begin with. So now we're going to bring this down to about here, and that looks really good right there. Once again, we'll grab the rectangle marquee, come back up to the corner here, and draw our marquee pretty much where we want it to be. And I think it looks good right around there. Right click in the middle, select inverse, hit delete. I'll do Control D to deselect. Come back up to the opacity, bring it back up to 100%. And once again, with the cropping tool, we're going to crop out everything beyond the photo. Kind of re-registers the photo to be exactly this size. And hit OK. And there we go. All you got to do now is just go to File, Save As, and then change this from Photoshop to a JPEG, rename it, and save it onto your desktop for each one of these. So I would save it, then I would turn that off, turn on the next one, then I would save that, turn it off, and go to the last one and save that separately. Well, that's it for this tutorial. This is Rich, calling it quits, saying over and out.